Hey guys, welcome back to West Virginia Mountain Life. We're back inside the house, going to do another video, and this time we're going to do bath bombs. These are going to be homemade bath bombs with just stuff that you can grab out of your cabinets or at your local grocery store. It's not going to be anything major and complicated to do, but they feel really good after you've been outside working all day. They fizzy in your bathtub, and they have some essential oils and some other oils that are good for your skin and nutrients. And they just feel really good, and they're inexpensive. They make a great gift. If you need stocking stuffers or shower gifts or gifts for people in the nursing home or people at like the hospitals and things that just aren't feeling well, you can make up a can of chicken noodle soup homemade or something of that nature, and then make them a couple of these and send to them, and it makes a great present. So basically there's 3 steps to this. You're going to have some dry goods, and then you're going to have some wet goods, and you're going to mix them together, and then we'll go from there. We're going to start out with our dry goods. We're going to start out with some baking soda. This is just normal, everyday baking soda that you find in your baking aisle at the grocery store. There's nothing, special about this. I just got the cheapest one that I could find, and you need 1/4 cup of your baking soda. Then you're going to add to it 1/8 cup of Epsom salts. Again, these were just the cheapest ones that I could find. Sometimes you can find these that have essential oils already in them that are like lavender or citrus or things like that. Those, as far as I know, are just fine to use also. But I'm going to add some different oil to it, so I wanted a different fragrance, so I just got the plain Epsom salts. Then you're going to add 1/2 cup of just regular cornstarch. This is just generic cornstarch like you would find in your baking aisle, nothing special about it. And then you're going to get 1/8 cup of citric acid. This is the same acid that we use when we can our vegetables, our tomatoes, our tomato sauces, spaghetti sauces, things like that. It's the exact same stuff that we use for that. So, I have already measured these ingredients out and all these little nifty things I've got here. So we're going to go ahead and put them together. Like I said, you're going to use 1/4 cup of baking soda, 1/8 cup of the Epsom salts. Make sure you get it all out. You're going to use 1/2 cup of cornstarch, and you're going to use 1/8 cup of the citric acid. And that's all your dry goods. And just for reference here, I'm going to show you all a couple little things. This is one of the neatest measuring cups I have ever gotten in my life. It has a liquid measure and a dry and a solid measure. It comes from Peppered Chef, and it is just amazing for a lot of different recipes. You guys are going to see me use this a lot, especially when I start making videos about making candy at Christmas and things like that. This is the best thing in the world to measure butter and peanut butter in. Marshmallow cream, stuff that's sticky, that's hard to get out. You can actually push it down, do your measurement, and then when you get ready to pop it out into your bowl, you just pop it out and it comes out perfectly clean, and you get a perfect measurement on those things that are hard to measure. So I just thought I'd give that out there to let you know that that is just a really neat tool. Also, my husband purchased these for me, I think maybe last Christmas. These are measuring cups that collapse. And I always am having trouble with storage space because our house is very small and I have a lot of kitchen gadgets. And I really, really like these because after you use them and you wash them, you can just collapse them down and they stack inside of each other. And there's several different ones of them. I think you get from 1/4 cup all the way up to a full cup in the set. And they take up very little space, so I really, really like those too. Okay, now you've got all your dry ingredients in there. You're going to take a spoon or a spatula, whatever it is that you use that makes you feel comfortable. And you're going to mix all these together. And you're going to make sure that there are no clumps from all these dry goods, because they will clump together sometimes. And as you can see, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze because I'm going to inhale all of it. You're just going to mix all that together until there's no clumps, okay? And it looks like we've pretty well got that mixed together. Now, next comes your wet ingredients. What you're going to use is you're going to need a teaspoon of water. And it doesn't have to be, you know, distilled or anything crazy, just regular old water. You're going to put a teaspoon of water, and you're going to put those into a totally separate container away from your dry goods to start with. So I'm going to move Mr. Dry Good over here out of the way. I'm going to put this back in this little jiggler here. And basically, it's just a little tiny measuring cup. And we're going to put a teaspoon of water in there. Then you're going to put 1.5 teaspoons of oil. Now, the recipe that I used the first time, it calls for vegetable oil. But I have been reading up on things, and I have found that olive oil, especially if you can get extra virgin olive oil, it's a little bit pricier, but it's very, very good for your skin and your hair and different things. It's a little bit better. We couldn't really afford the pricey olive oil, so what I did was I got a cheaper version that is vegetable oil mixed in with extra virgin olive oil, and it was like, I think, $1 for this little bottle of this, and I've used it for several different things, and it works really well. But we're going to use a teaspoon and a half of this oil. So we're going to measure out 1 teaspoon. And we're going to find our half teaspoon. He's in here hiding out somewhere. In the meantime, we're going to make a mess. There's a half teaspoon. So it's 1.5 teaspoons of our oil. Now, the next ingredient that you can add, they tell you that you can use 12 to 15 drops of food coloring. Now, that's a controversial issue here at our house because food coloring is an awesome thing if you do not have an antique bathtub. We have an antique bathtub right now, and it is not finished. It needs to be resurfaced on the inside. And because of that, it's got some, you know, wear and tear cracks and things like that. And until I get my bathtub resurfaced, I do not feel comfortable putting food coloring in there because I'm afraid it'll get stuck around the edges. So therefore, I'm not going to put the food coloring in there, but you can put it in. It's 12 to 15 drops, and it just makes the bath water turn colors. It will not turn your skin colors, and it is easy to clean out of the bathtub. It's just my personal preference that I don't want it in my bathtub right now. Then, we're going to put 20 to 40 drops of essential oil. Now, essential oils are really hard to come by around here. You pretty much have to order them online or things like that. It's not like it's something that you can just run out to the store and buy because we don't have a lot of distributors that I've been able to find that has essential oils. And I am very, very sensitive to fragrances. So, instead of the essential oil, I decided to go to the store and get a food grade imitation coconut extract. I like the smell of coconut. I think it's, you know, really warm and inviting, and it kind of cools me down and soothes me, and it makes me think of summertime. So I'm going to put the imitation coconut extract in mine, and because it is food grade quality, it's going to be gentler on my skin and things than maybe some of the other essential oils. Now it says 20 to 40 drops. Here's my thing, guys. Make it smell good. Put what you want to in there, because 20 to 40 drops is a big difference between measurements. So I'm just going to put what I think I need to make it smell good. So I'm putting that in there. Next, I'm going to stir this up with one of these handy dandy milkshake straws. Guys, if you have not found the milkshake straws, you so need to. There are 1,000,001 uses for these little milkshake straws. I use them to stir stuff up. And my occupational therapist for my youngest son, she taught us that you can take these and take a hole punch and punch holes in them, and you can use them like Legos. and connect and build with them, and they're really good for your kids' fine motor skills. I watched a video not too long ago, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, so please forgive me, but he was a really awesome guy. But I watched it where he put spices and like pepper and salt and things like that inside these and sealed them off to take camping, to keep them from getting wet. And I thought that was a really neat idea too, and it also took up less space in your backpack. So there's just a million uses for these little milkshake straws, and they're not really expensive. I actually caught these little guys on sale. I think I got 20 of them in a pack for 50 cents, which was a really, really good deal. So I bought a whole bunch of them at that point in time. Alright, so now that we've got this nice and combined, and you want to make sure you continue to stir this as much as you can before you put it down in there, because it keeps all that from separating. And as you know, if you have oil and you have water, it will separate. So we want to keep that together as much as possible. Now you're going to combine this very slowly back into your dry mixture. Okay? You want to stir this the entire time that you are slowly adding this back in there. There will be a bit of a reaction that you will see, and it looks like a little bit of foam going on in there. That's perfectly normal, because that means that everything's combining the way it's supposed to. You want to make sure you get every bit of that out that you can, and just stir it in. And oh my goodness, y'all, I'm just here to tell you, this smells so good. It reminds me of cake. When I was a little girl, my aunt used to make this coconut cake, and she made it at decoration time, when we would have church and dinner and stuff at our family cemetery. And in West Virginia, decoration is a normal thing. I found out when we moved away from West Virginia for the first time that other people in parts of the world don't do decoration, but it is a custom here that we all gather together at our family cemetery once a year, and we decorate the graves, and then we have church there, and then we have dinner at someone's house now. Used to be we had it at the cemetery, but now we have it at someone's house, and we all gather together and you know, just fellowship there at the house. But she used to make this coconut cake, and I swear that's what this smells like, is that coconut icing that she put on this cake. Alright, after you've got it all mixed together and all your ingredients are combined really well, then what you're going to do is you're going to take some type of a mold. Okay? It doesn't matter what you put them in. I found these little bad boys at, I think it was at a dollar store, I'm not real sure, but they were like $1 a piece. They are ice cube trays that have silicone bottoms, so it makes it easy for them to pop out. You can put it in anything you want to. I actually saw that they have put them into toilet paper holders, like toilet paper rolls, and done great big ones. I like these because they're kind of small, and it makes it easier to push them down in there. And I don't know, they just look nice and neat to me. These molds are really good too because they are silicone and they don't stick as bad as regular molds do. If you have a mold that you know for a fact sticks pretty rough with other stuff, then please feel free to spray it with, you know, Pam or some kind of cooking spray to keep them from sticking so bad. But what you're wanting to do here is you're wanting to push this down in these molds as firmly as you possibly can. Pack that stuff down in there real good and tight. Because the tighter you get it, the more fizz you're going to get whenever you drop it down into the bathtub. And we're just going to keep pushing these down in there. And packing it down as tight as possible until we get them all filled up. And while we're doing that, we're going to take a break. And we'll come back when I get all these packed in there. And we're going to put them into the freezer after I pack them in. And they need to sit in the freezer at least 10 minutes. If you can leave them longer than 10 minutes, that's great. So that they get really nice and firm before you pop them out. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pack all these in here and put them in the freezer for 10 minutes. And then I'll be back to show you what they look like whenever they pop out. See you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, we are back. These little guys have been sitting in the freezer for about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. They're still really nice and cold when you get them out. But I wanted to show you all what was so nifty about these little silicone trays. Especially these kind, because they're plastic on the top and then silicone on the bottom. When you go to flip these out, you push on each one of these little bubbles. And you can hear them hitting the tray. And this is an old baking sheet that I have. I have probably 25 of these baking sheets because I do everything with them. From activities with my kids, with Play-Doh and magnets, to cooking, to doing home improvement stuff, you name it, I do it. You can pick these little guys up for like 88 cents at Walmart, and they do great, and you can use them over and over and over until they finally croak, and when they croak, they're 88 cents, you go buy another one. But anyways, as you can see, they come out, and they look like cute little bonbons. Now, I had one that just had enough left over to make like a third of a bomb, and I'm going to show you with just a little bit in an itty bitty tiny bowl of warm water what this actually looks like when it decides to go off in your bathtub. So we're going to drop just this itty bitty piece of this down in this little bowl of water. And as you can see, it starts to fizzle and it's going to like erupt. Kind of reminds you of when you had to do the science projects in school where you made the volcano explode or whatever. But you're going to watch it, and as it erupts, that actually will bubble all throughout your whole bath. And it just feels so good on your feet and your legs and your back. And it'll bubble for quite some time. As you can see, it's still bubbling. And that was just literally like a third of what one of these are. And you can make them as big or as small as you want to. The first ones that we made in toilet paper rolls. And they were huge. They were like, I don't know, something like that. And the size and diameter of a toilet paper roll. And when I dropped that down in the bathtub, it fizzed for like 30 minutes before it finally completely fizzled out. So you can make them as big or as small as you want to, depending on how much fizzy you want and how long you want it to last. Now, storage on these. I'm going to move this bowl out of the way. First, I want you all to see something. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but there is a film on top of this that is oily. And you can see it on my fingers, my poor gardening hands here. And that will actually moisturize your skin while you're sitting in the tub. And it smells like coconut. And you just can't get any better to me than coconut. Lavender oil, you can put lavender in that, or chamomile oil, and it will make you sleepy. Just whatever essential oil you want to. Now we're going to talk about storage. With these, if you're going to give them as a gift, what you're going to want to do is just put them into like a little cellophane bag or whatever, and tie them off with a pretty little bow or something of that nature. Or you can get the little jelly jars. I have some up here that I made some. Well, I don't knock the whole jar off. I made some jalapeno jelly in these little teeny tiny jelly jars, and they make a real cute little gift for these too. While they're empty, you can put like, I think 3 or 4 of them will fit down in here, and then put a little piece of cloth on top and a ribbon, and it makes a cute little kind of primitive looking gift. And they have a place on the front of them for a label, so you can actually label that they are coconut bath bombs or lavender bath bombs or whatever, and you can do that for a gift also in those. But you can put them in a cellophane bag if you're doing it yourself at home and you're going to keep them at home. What I like to do is I like to drop them down inside of like a pint jar. And when you put them down in there, be real careful because you don't want to drop them because then they'll bust open. So what I do is I put them on the side of the glass like this, and then just give them a little push and let them slide right down in there, and see they don't fall apart like that. But you're going to just do that and fill your jar up with your little bath bombs. And I use mason jars for everything. I have a really nice friend who absolutely would kill me if she was watching this video right now, because she has issues with people that use mason jars and bottle jars and canning jars in general for anything other than for food storage. But as you can see, if you all see me grab a jar of jelly, and my shelf behind me is full of stuff, we use them for food storage too, Lori, so don't panic, okay? I am putting my bath bombs in these, but I promise you I will reuse the same jar over and over and over for something else, okay? But I had to throw that in there. I hope she watches this because she's just an awesome lady. But anyways, you put these down in here, and you fill your little jar up, and you're careful not to break them out of pieces and all that good stuff. And then, after we get all these done in here, not only do they look super, super cute, and they look cute in your bathroom when you put them on the shelf, because they are in a cute little mason jar, but it helps to store them to where they have room to move around, but they're not going to get broken out of pieces by somebody picking up a bag or like a Ziploc or anything. Okay, we also have purchased, if I can find them, these things called oxygen absorbers. And basically, you order these in bulk, and you get all kinds of these little oxygen absorber packets. And these are like the packets that come inside of like your store-bought beef jerky and stuff like that. And what they do is they keep air from being contained inside of your jar. If you're going to try to preserve something and you don't want air to get back in it, use the oxygen absorber little packets. So what I'm going to do is I'll open this up. I will get one of these out, put it down in my mason jar here with my little doolollies, and I will put the lid on it. And then I have a Food Saver vacuum sealer for jars, and you put the attachment on top here, attach it to your Food Saver. It sucks all the air out, and it keeps them nice and fresh, and it keeps them from breaking apart and going all crazy inside this jar. Okay, and then every time that we get one out and we use it, we just stick our vacuum sealer back on top and reseal the jar. And they keep for a decently long time. But I think you all probably won't have to worry about storing them very long, because you're going to like them and you're going to want to use them a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you guys comment back to me and tell me that you made these for gifts because they're inexpensive, and that you're using them and that they feel good. Even my boys like them. The kids like them to play in the bathtub, especially if I put the food coloring in it and they turn the watercolors. They think that's awesome. But just wanted to share this really neat little trick that we found. We appreciate you guys for watching us and being part of our family. Do not forget, please, if you like what you watch with us, subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you as part of our family. And we do consider you guys part of our family because you're coming into my house. I don't take that lightly, and we do appreciate you guys. So stay tuned and see whatever else crazy thing that I decide to come up with. But in the meantime, keep gardening, keep doing your thing, and enjoy your bath bombs. Thanks for watching.